So apologies, dear people, my phone decided to go just as I was in the middle of discussing Black Moon Lilith and our particular aspect this week. So this will be uploaded in 2 parts, I'm afraid, just to allow for the fact that that kind of took over. So just to sort of recap where we were. So we talked about Venus being in Aries and the fact that she likes to be the warrior, the independent spirit, and anybody with Venus in Aries has got that strong sense of me and I, and when it's in transit, it reminds us to stand on our own 2 feet and make the time for ourselves. And then you've got that combined with Black Moon Lilith, which, as I was saying about the myth of Black Moon Lilith, she was the first wife of Adam, who refused to be subservient. So that very much fits in with the Aries myth, if you like, about wanting to stand in your own right and in your own space. And it feels like very much the time to reclaim that myth and to dispel some of the harsher, more negative image of Black Moon Lilith, because they were set up to frighten, to undermine, in a time when men ruled completely over women. I mean, I'm not to say that things aren't exactly as they should be now, but certainly we have improvements. And one of the things about reclaiming Black Moon Lilith and standing up with our Venus and Aries transit is to say this is our space and this is our time. And obviously with the Me Too movement, and the people are making their feelings known, for things like, even like last night within the Oscars, you had people talking about the fact that no female directors were nominated, and that is being a topic of conversation. Why are we not representing women? Why are we still treating women as second-class citizens, as not being up there with the men? And we've seen several steps backwards in America in particular, in terms of politically, with the Republican Party and their, particularly the evangelical Christians and some of the other more fundamental Christians wanting to get away with women's rights to contraception, to abortion, but just to stand in their own right, and things like sexual assault and acceptance in the workplace as being equal. All those things are once more coming out as men wanting to undermine the progress that we have made, and that we need to be able to fight back against that. I mean, I know that she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I was watching a documentary about Taylor Swift the other night, and her realization when she had to go stand in court in a sexual assault case against herself, realizing that she had to speak up for herself and for other women, and not to take a back seat in this, even if it could actually undermine her career. And it showed some of the clips from the TV in America and the things that they said about her, really trying to undermine her for standing up for herself and what she believed in, and just putting her down. And they showed some clips of the Dixie Chicks and what happened to them when they stood up against Bush for going to war in Iraq. And how they just destroyed their career as a result of what they were saying. And it was done on the grounds of, not just politics, but just being women, basically. And just, they were silly and stupid and shouldn't be listened to. And, the fact that they didn't have a right to say those things and to have those beliefs. So all those come under the banner of Black Moon Lilith, and also the Venus and Aries as well. So that's the 2 parts to this. And then the final part of it is Chiron, who is the wounded healer. He, as a planet, is classed as a dwarf planet, in a similar vein to how Pluto was downgraded to such. It was considered to be an asteroid, but now it's considered to be a dwarf planet. And the myth of Chiron is that Chiron was a centaur and a warrior who was wounded in his foot by Achilles by accident, and as a result he had a wound that could not heal, and he spent his life developing cures but could not cure himself. So in his experiments and in everything that he did, he in his search for his own healing, he ended up healing lots of others as well, and that's what he came to be known as, and became famous for. He was a famous healer rather than being a warrior. And you know, obviously his big dream would have been to heal himself, but he made his reputation and his fame for being able to heal others. And Chiron in our chart is that area that is wounded and causes us pain and suffering that we can never heal, no matter how long we spend with the therapist, how long we you know, look for cures. He's always that part of us that is still sore and raw within our psyche. And the blessing of Chiron is that if you can use the power of that experience to the good of others, then it will be your gift. And so if you wanted to link all those three things together, we have this wonderful opportunity to take the negative experiences, and sometimes horrific experiences of women in society, and say enough and no more. This is now our time to heal and to help heal others, and to do things and to stand up for our rights and make our voices heard above the cacophony of male voices who would want to bring us down. And one thing that I would like for you to think about this week, and to maybe to meditate on, or to write about in your journals, is where in your life these themes resonate for you, and what you can do to help heal yourself and others, and where you need to start standing up for yourself and your beliefs and your rights as a human. Because when I think of Lilith, she represents what it is to be human rather than just being of a gender. She was saying that we should all be treated the same. We all have our sexuality, we all have our gifts we can bring to a relationship, and why should one person be lesser than another? And that is the lesson that she wants to teach us. And you know, in terms of healing old pain and old wounds, maybe we'll see some progress in terms of the court cases in the Me Too movement, and maybe some others, you know, to do with women's rights, and bringing to justice some of these people that would violate women, and to act in a way that is not within the law and should be punished duly. And these people should not be allowed to have power and privilege if they are using their power and privilege in a negative way. So so that's my thoughts for this week. Let's say it will go up in the 2 bits because of the call in between, but hopefully you will get those on YouTube. Yeah, have a good week. So plenty of things for you to think about there. So thanks a lot then. Bye bye.